I'm Stephanie with The Huddle, and I'm here with Pat Davis, who is the President and CEO of the British Columbia Lottery Corporation. How are you, Pat?
I'm very well, Stephanie. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for being here. We have a few questions for you today, and our first one is just about how you've recently become the President and CEO of the BCLC. So how has your first year gone in this new role?
Yes, it's been a little over a year now, and both during the pandemic and post-pandemic, the gambling industry's been really changing rapidly. And so it's been a very interesting time for me to take on this role. And so my first year, I would say, has been both challenging and rewarding. And one of the things that's absolutely proven to me, though, is that I have the terrible privilege of being able to work with an absolutely amazing team of folks here at BCLC and work alongside them every day, which is why I'm so excited and optimistic about the future of the organization.
Fantastic. And one of the members on your team is Shane Vincenzi, who's just been added as the Senior Manager of Indigenous Relations, correct?
That is correct, yes. So that's a new role that we've created there. And so for us, we've worked with First Nations here in BC for a long time as part of our history. And we actually currently have 4 casino properties in BC that are on First Nations land, one of those actually being owned and operated by the First Nations. But what we know as a gambling organization is, in terms of our future success, we need to have stronger relationships and stronger partnerships in this space. And we have a specific commitment towards lasting and meaningful reconciliation. And that's really where Shane's role comes in, to help us really open those doors and engage in those partnerships and collaboration. And so he's really been working hard to do that, to engage across the province and really make sure that we're understanding what the needs and wants and the impacts that we can have as we work together to collaborate, as well as really understanding the mechanisms that may already be in place. As an example, there's a revenue sharing agreement here in the province of British Columbia where 7% of our net income is actually distributed to all First Nations in the province.
Great. And as far as the wider British Columbia community, because I know you support many more communities than just the Indigenous community, what have you been able to achieve this year, and what programs are you looking to support in 2024?
So we're really proud that last year we were able to generate $1.6 billion for the province that helps fund great programs here like healthcare and education and charities and et cetera. But that's at a very macro level. At a more specific, targeted level, a lot of the work we do, we leverage things like our sponsorships and community outreach. So whether it's our sports sponsorships, where we have programs with our local NHL team around community hero events, where we bring community leaders in and recognize their accomplishments, or whether it's with our sponsorships where we have a community ticketing program where we get tickets to these events and feed them back out into not-for-profits that they can use to generate funds and revenue and experiences for their people. But I think where it's really exciting is, the really local pieces of this, where we're able to do community sponsorship. So as an example, we've been a sponsor of free music concerts in the city of Kamloops for the last 20 years, every night of the summer, or the fact that recently our staff, our employee giving committee, actually held a community barbecue to bring in those in the community that might be less fortunate. And we fed over 200 people that afternoon. That was
Wow.
Really organized and paid for by our staff with support by us.
A couple of more fun questions. First off, of those 20 years of concerts, what was the favorite artist you've been able to see or have work with the BCLC?
Well, that's a tough question because it's very diverse in terms of what we bring in. I'm a country music fan, so we've had some great Canadian artists come in, like Jess Moskaluk and others. So those are really fun.
Great. And obviously, all of those programs are funded and sponsored by the games that the lottery offers. Can you tell us about what is on offer and what you can play in the BCLC?
Sure, absolutely. So BCLC is a multi-channel gambling company, which means that we offer lottery, traditional draw-based lottery, as well as scratch and win and other products in those spaces, both national games, so large jackpot games, and regional games. And then we have our casino business, bricks and mortar or land-based casino, where we have 36 different properties dispersed in the province in 33 different communities. And then there's our online business. And we've actually been in the online space since 2004, and we offer a full portfolio, including online casino, tables, live tables, as well as lottery and poker, bingo, and etc.
We hear a lot about the online casino space in Ontario, the other province that's possibly doing super well in Canada right now. Do you see British Columbia catching up to the Ontario hype in the online casino space anytime soon?
So for us, we're really proud about the success we have had in the online space. That business has grown tremendously for us. And, we think we provide amazing products and experiences for our players. And it's actually that success has allowed us to become the service provider where we actually operate the online business for 2 other Canadian provinces, both Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So again, I think we do a great job in that space. I will say that what's gone on in Ontario certainly has had an impact on our market, in particular, some of the spillover from the investment in advertising. And
Sure.
the unfortunate downside of that is that it causes some confusion for our players in our market where they see all this advertising. And so sometimes it's hard for them to understand that BCLC and PlayNow.com is the only regulated offering an entity here in BC.
Regulation is obviously an important part of online gaming, but so is player health. And I know that the BCLC says you want to have the healthiest players you can. What are some of the programs and support offered to make sure that happens?
Yeah, we have this very, very ambitious goal, as you said, to have the healthiest players. And so for us, we know that this is an industry that has a potential for harm associated with it. And so player health really is at the core of everything we do as we look to whether it's the products we offer, the environments we do, or et cetera. So some of the things that we've been able to do is we've created what we call our Game Sense program. And our Game Sense program really helps educate players, provide them with tools and resources around player health, and make sure that, all of the aspects that we can provide, whether it's around informed decisions or positive play behaviors, are there. But it also goes beyond that in terms of referral and support. So we work with our regulator here to make sure that if players are experiencing concerns or distress, that they get referred in real time. They talk to person and can actually have that interaction in real time and be through sort of a warm handoff referred into these other programs and supports. And as well, as I've already mentioned, it's important for us that the environment, so everything around the site, as an example, online, in terms of the tools we have to set limits and budgets and the timeouts and the messaging, that whole environment really helps contribute to giving players that opportunity to play safely. And when we talk about trying to create winning experiences, for us, a winning experience is one that's a safe experience.
Fantastic. And as we touched on earlier, you've been in the role of president and CEO for just over a year, but I know you've been with the BCLC for much longer, over 15 years, correct?
Yeah, just over 20 now, actually.
So we wanted to ask as our final question, what has changed the most with the organization or even just in the lottery or online gaming space in that breadth of time?
So much has changed. It's a very different world than when I joined. And it's really exciting in terms of, again, what that means we can offer our players. But I think what we just talked about in terms of the focus on player health and responsible gaming has really been the biggest shift over that time. When I started in the industry, it really wasn't a conversation that was front and center. And now for us, it's something that's there every day, all the time, and really ties into, for us, we're a social purpose organization. And when we talk about generating win-wins, again, it really comes back to that shift in the focus on the player and making sure that it's not just about revenue generation. It's about creating great gambling experiences and again, making sure those players have the tools they need to be safe.
And where that revenue goes with all of the community funding, correct?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope many great country music concerts are in your future, and we will see what the BCLC gets up to in 2024.
Thanks so much for having me on today, Sonia.
Thanks. Bye.